There's a kangaroo named Abby who was rescued when she lost her mum in the wild at the age of only 5 months. The staff took such good care of her that Abby started giving daily hugs of gratitude to her caregivers. Continue watching to find out more. Hello joyous viewers, I am Adina the kangaroo from the Kangaroo Sanctuary in Alice Springs, Australia. We the animals from Australia thank you for appreciating and taking care of the environment. I'd like to give you a warm and cordial welcome to stories about the gratitude of our animal friends. Have you noticed that your animal companions express their gratitude to you? If you pay attention, you will find that they say thank you every moment they are with you, with wagging tails, smiling eyes, licks, kisses, or by rubbing their bodies against yours. It is the same with us wild animals. We are keenly aware of the kindness some humans show us, and we express gratitude to them whenever we can by visiting them, touching them lovingly, or by bringing them gifts. Sometimes we have the opportunity to return the favor by assisting or rescuing humans when they need help. Some of us kangaroos like to show how grateful we are to our benefactors by hugging them. As a matter of fact, here at our sanctuary, there's a kangaroo named Abby who was rescued when she lost her mum in the wild at the age of only 5 months. The staff took such good care of her that Abby started giving daily hugs of gratitude to her caregivers. Have you ever seen a swan hug someone? Like kangaroos, swans also hug to show thanks. At the Abbotsbury Swanery in Dorset, UK, home to the world's only managed colony of nesting mute swans, a resident swan flew into a chain-link fence and was hurt. Richard Weisz, an Emmy-winning producer and the host of the American television program Born to Explore, was at the Swanery filming his program when he discovered the poor bird. He examined the accident victim and helped the swan get veterinary treatment for the injuries. Even though it was several years before the two met again, the swan certainly didn't forget Richard. When Richard picked up the swan, the bird wrapped his neck around Richard's with much affection. Richard told ABC News, "When I put him next to me, I could feel his heart beating, and he just relaxed his neck and wrapped it around mine. It's a wonderful moment when an animal totally trusts you." In 2013, a baby octopus was stranded on a beach in Portugal after high tide and was rapidly drying out. Pei Yan Heng was passing by and saw that the being was in trouble. He grabbed a cup, scooped up the octopus, and put the cephalopod back in shallow waters. After taking a while to recover, the rescued octopus was ready to swim out to sea. But first, the cephalopod crawled over to Pei Yan Heng and extended 2 tentacles across one of his boots in an apparent gesture of thankfulness. In the Congo, the word wounda means close to dying. Such was the condition of a chimpanzee that was found and taken in by the Jane Goodall Institute's Chimpunga Chimpanzee Rehabilitation Center in the Republic of the Congo. Wounda was suffering from multiple illnesses and rapidly losing weight. Fortunately, the knowledgeable and experienced staff at the center were able to save Wounda's life and nurse her back to health. After several years of affectionate care, Wounda was ready to be released onto a special island for rescued chimps that is safe from poachers, disease transmission, and wild chimpanzees. She was transported in a crate, accompanied by Dr. Goodall and some of the staff members. When the crate was opened, Wounda climbed on top of the crate and looked around at her new environment. Suddenly, she turned to Dr. Goodall and embraced her in deep gratitude for almost 20 seconds. Even though they had not met before that day, somehow Wounda knew that Dr. Goodall was ultimately responsible for her new lease on life and home. It's time to top up the bird bath in the garden for our feathered friends. I'll return in a few moments with more inspiring animal stories. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
If whales could talk, what would they tell us? If dolphins could speak, what would they say? They might remind us that the Earth is a water planet, that water sustains all life, and that if we continue polluting the lifeblood of the planet, all life will suffer. Listen to them.
Welcome back to stories about the gratitude of our animal friends on Supreme Master Television. A tiny baby squirrel in Greenville County, South Carolina, USA, was rescued by a wildlife group after she encountered an owl. They named the squirrel Bella and gave her to a local family, along with 3 other baby squirrels to rehabilitate and release. Brantley Harrison, who has been trained in rehabbing squirrels, and the rest of her family, lovingly took care of Bella for 5 months, and when the weather warmed up, they let her go. But Bella keeps coming back. She often hops up the front steps to peer through the door or looks through the dining room window. The love that Bella received from her human family surely made an indelible impression on her. Since most of us animals have little proficiency in outwardly speaking your language, you may be amazed by a story about 4 rescued crows who learned to say hello. When they were young chicks, their nest fell from a tree, and they were taken to Dr. Christy Hiltz, a veterinarian in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. She decided that she and her family would raise the orphaned crows until they were old enough to be released back into the wild. The chicks needed to be fed every 2 or 3 hours, but everyone in the family helped out. Crows are very smart and capable of some basic speech. The family members were saying hello to the birds so often that eventually the birds started saying it back.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
In a way, it might have been the crows' way of saying thank you to the humans who were taking care of them, because they didn't know any other way. The family also taught the crows how to pick berries from trees so that they could survive in nature alone. Eventually, the rescued crows were able to take care of themselves and were accepted by a family of wild crows. They fly south as a flock every winter, but every spring, at least 2 of the rescued crows return to visit Dr. Hiltz and her family, and they still know how to say hello. In March 2018, Dr. Hiltz used a camera to record one of the crows who had returned home, and surprisingly found that the crow spoke to a squirrel on a tree. A farmer in Lithuania named Erikas Plukas came home one day and found a baby moose lying outside his gate. The calf was starved and terrified, but too weak to get up. Erikas carried her inside while he was trying to figure out what to do. There is no agency in Lithuania that takes care of orphaned wild animals, so it wasn't long before Erikas decided to adopt the moose and care for her. He named her Emma and started feeding her every 4 hours. She cried whenever he left her alone, so he often slept next to her. As Emma grew up, Erikas reintroduced her to the wild, taking her for frequent walks in the forest. Eventually, she began going there alone and was finally able to live in the forest independently. Despite the fact they now live apart, the bond of love between the two remains strong. Emma visits her dad every day to go for a walk, play, or even go for a swim. As you can see from the stories I've shared with you today, we animals are not very different from humans. We have keen awareness and feelings and much love to give. Whenever we can, we show our gratitude to those who treat us with kindness. In a January 2nd, 2009 lecture given during an international gathering in France, Supreme Master Ching Hai spoke about our capacity for gratitude and the purity we possess.
I can confirm with you that the animals, they understand everything and they remember everything and they're very, very grateful, Sometimes more grateful than some human, because they are more pure, even the fox. Yes. They have to do what they do, but they're very pure, And not to talk about some animals, they are also practice spiritually, and their level is very high. Or sometimes they came from high level to do something for the world or for their own species, like become king of the fox and help other fox, for example, like that,
Book of Job, chapter 12. But ask the animals, and they will instruct you. Ask the birds of the air, and they will tell you. Or speak to the earth, and it will teach you. Let the fish of the sea inform you. There is a proverb that goes, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." Let's watch the next and final video clip together to be reminded once more that humans and animals have many emotions in common and the same desire to express our love and gratitude. Gracious viewers, it's been a pleasure having you with us today.